is that back in the day, if you were like a jazz musician, you could buy these things called fake books. And what these were, yeah, they were just like a collection of, just tells you what chords are in popular songs, and then a very sketchy writing out of the melody. And so what you would use it for is if someone was like, hey, do you know how to play this song? You could fake it. You could say, yes, I do. And you'd use your fake book and kind of fake the song for them.
Nice.
So then you could get all these fake books that way. And then I guess a bunch of students at the Berklee School of Music decided to finally just make an actual reference guide for all of these jazz songs that everybody was wanting to play. So they called it the real book. So it actually includes, the melody of the song and all the chords, and it's in, actual music tablature and stuff. So they decided, instead of having all these fake books, let's just have one real book.
We'll just make the real book. Hey, you know what I just thought of, though? That would be pretty cool. So there are all these decks that have, like, different names, and I wish there was a book that would tell me what that meant, because people will say, oh, I play this, or I play the rock, or I play Hammer Time, and I'm like, what are these decks? It would be so great if there's just kind of a catalog of this is what the decks were called at these times, and this thing changed because of this.
Yeah, because there's like Dead Guy Ale means black, white, mid range, and Nick Fit,
Yeah, how am I supposed to know this stuff? Like, I didn't play Modern or these other formats, so I want to make up cool names for my decks, and then people start using that name around. But so maybe we need like a Magic rule book. I don't know.
Yeah. That's our next goal, our next project.
Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are your neighborhood Magic the Gathering Arena sports bar.
Yeah, just basically two regular guys drinking beer, talking about Magic, Arena in particular, and competitive play was something we like to focus on around here,
Yeah.
We like to pretend that we can play as well as the pros do, and then go test it out on Arena and confirm that we cannot.
We are not pros. We're just regular people. That's when we say regular. We're not pros. We have advice. Right. Whether you should take it or not is up to you, because we just kind of make things up. But we have fun and we drink beer while we do it. So getting into this episode, our main topics, we have, so Kaldheim is just released. And we decided it would be really fun if we put together a Kaldheim bingo card for all the fun things that you could possibly do. Well, not all of them. 24 fun things you could do in Kaldheim, limited or constructed. So we're going to break that down and give you the link to that so you can play along with us. And also just kind of our first impressions of what the set has to offer and what we're thinking about it from a regular guy point of view. But first, each week we both bring a beer. We drink our own, then drink each other's, and then rate them on a scale of bronze to mythic and choose the best for last. So with that, Jeff, what's on tap?
All right, I brought a beer called the Hazy Mariner. And, I thought long and hard about what to bring this week. A lot of things were taken into account, numerous considerations. Ultimately, I settled on Hazy Mariner, because the can has this captain on it, seafaring captain, alongside a bird. And I thought that really resembled their description of Alrund in the story, the old grizzled veteran on the seaboat. And that could have been Haka, his raven, behind him. So that was the thought that went into the selection of this beer.
So the joke is that Jeff did not bring a beer. I brought two beers because I could not find the one that Jeff wanted. And so instead, he could find both the ones that I found. So actually, that's a beer I picked, but Jeff is kind of taking over. So that's the little inside joke behind that. But anyways, I brought, why am I looking at the can? I should just look at the notes I wrote. I brought Passionate Sour by Side Launch Brewing Company. It's a sour, passion fruit. It's only 4.3%, and it has like Hawaiian flowers on the can. But the reason I brought this one is because, we drank quite a bit last week. So I thought maybe we should dial it back a little bit. 4.3, nice session, little thing. So we're just going to cruise along with this.
Yeah, it doesn't really work, though, because you just end up drinking more of them.
That's true. But I would probably drink that many anyways. I don't know. I'd like to tell myself that if it has less alcohol in it, it won't be as bad. But I usually drink the same or more, just telling myself, oh, it's only 4.3. I could have two more. Anyway, so as I said, Kaldheim is here, and with that, also a season has just ended and a new season has just started. So we just want to quickly think about our goals that we had. Jeff, did you accomplish your goal? I can't even remember what it was.
I actually also can't really remember what it was. I think I was taking it easy because there wasn't really any competitive
Right.
mind.
Oh yeah, we just decided. I think we both piggybacked on each other, and we just decided we didn't want to spend any resources before call time. And did you? Did you spend any resources?
No. Well, I did one arena cube draft.
Oh right.
But that was the only
For your stream, yeah. I didn't do anything, which was fantastic. However, all of that
you did it.
is now gone because call time has started, and I've drafted it a lot. Not successfully. I mean, what's a successful draft? I guess you build a deck that's playable. All of the decks,
7-0.
yeah, they're playable. Whether they do well is. Well, let's just say
successful draft is 7-0. Anything else
is not successful. Okay, well, then I have never been successful. Just kidding, no. Just so far, it's been interesting. But as far as our goals for this next season, I'm going to say I want to get a blackout bingo card. I want every possible thing I could get.
In this season? Like this month?
This month, yeah. Is that too much?
Wow, that's aggressive.
Okay, maybe maybe I should pull it back. Is that too aggressive? I guess. Yeah, I guess we have this. I don't know either. We just made this up. Okay, no, you're right. Okay, I will say I want 3 bingos. There we go, 3 bingos. Okay, that's aggressive, but like not ridiculous.
Okay, I like that.
All right, what about you?
Well, I was going to go with the bingo thing as well, but they actually announced this morning that the Star City Games circuit is coming back. So they're doing basically the same thing as Season 2. So this will be Season 3, which would qualify you eventually for the Starnheim Championship, I guess.
Oh.
Or no, maybe
Starnheim?
it's still for the Kaldheim Championship.
Means
the Kaldheim Championship is... Yes, sorry.
I was like,
so
Starnheim?
the Kaldheim Championship is at the end of March?
Yes. It's right. Yeah, because the league weekend's the end of February, so it'll be after that.
Okay, then this one qualifies you for Kaldheim weekend again. Same exact format from the looks of it as it was last time, but the price is $1 more now. So, damn, should have got in while I had the chance at the $6 rate. Now I got to pay the $7 rate.
$7. You know that grinds my gears. You know what else grinds my gears? Actually, there was some drama this week on Twitter with some Magic players and some streamers. Anyway, basically what happened is a streamer made a tier list of all the pro players, basically ranking them on how well they think that they could beat these other pros. I mean, without really knowing them very well or playing with them. And this is a person that's been around a lot, but I don't think has a lot of relationships with the pros. So it kind of came off a little... I don't know, douchey, I guess. But
yeah,
basically what happened, it drummed up a lot of discussion about whether you should rank pros or not, and if tier lists are an acceptable thing to have talking about players, which I was just surprised by. I was like, what's wrong with the tier list? What? There's nothing wrong with
Don't we do that in every sport?
Yeah, like there are weekly football rankings of the strongest teams. Now this is everyone's, all these different sportscasters, their opinions, and they have reasons why they think that. But it's also people's opinions. It's not I don't know. We have the actual rankings
too, right?
Well, I mean, they'll talk, but the players as far as
top 5
fantasy,
quarterbacks, top 5.
Yeah, but those are literally just stats, right? And we have those stats, and you could make a tier list being these are the stats. Okay, PVDDR is at the top right now, so you can't say he's not.
People have their own personal list of their top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, for sure. Oh, you mean the GOAT and everything? Yeah, totally. And there's people who hate Tom Brady, people who think he should be he's the best, and same with LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Well, you could be in both those camps because I know because I am.
But it's just it was just so striking that people were so just I don't know. They had many more strong feelings about that we shouldn't rank players, which I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like half of the game is playing it, and some people are better than other people at that. I know because I'm not one of the people that's really good at it, and I can tell when people beat me, and I'm like, they were just better than me.
Yeah.
So anyway, that just grinded my gears a little bit. So maybe we should just make our own tier list. Just kidding. I don't need to catch any flack.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Magic community could use a little more like rivalry
Yeah.
amongst the players, like trash talk, kind of obviously all in good fun. Let's not take anything too far. But,
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's having kind of the player that you root for and their arch enemy against them. Just seems kind of fun to me. So yeah, I say bring it on. Let's hot takes, fun stuff. As long as we're not insulting anyone's character or anything, because everyone's great people, so let's just avoid that. But poking fun at people for what deck they bring or whatever, and that's that's all in good fun, right? So yeah. Anyway, let's just jump into this bingo card. I think it's time to get to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is basically we have a 5x5 grid here, and each square has some achievement, Kaldheim related achievement that you can unlock by playing MTG Arena.
Yes.
And I think we're thinking most of these were designed with standard historic or draft in mind.
Yes, which is how you play on Arena. You mean just not Brawl, not Brawl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of them are easier or harder in Brawl. I didn't think about it. So
yeah, so.
But I do mean to say that most of them, unless otherwise stated, are for either. You could do it in constructed or in limited.
Yes. Some of them are harder in. I mean, we'll just talk about it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But the first one that obviously just jumps right out at you is that for our first bingo square is winning with poison. You just got to win with poison instead of damage. Bada bing, bada boom. That's worth an achievement for me.
So there's only one way to do this, right? It has to be the
Finn the Fangbearer.
1/3
Yep.
Finn. Because I thought I read somewhere that Morrow said there were 2 cards related to poison in the set.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that on Twitter, and it's just incorrect.
When I looked again, I just could not find another card that had anything
There
to do with
isn't.
poison.
Finn's the only one. So
And then I thought maybe there's a card that puts counters on
people that you could double. Nope. So basically, use Finn and win with poison. And then Jeff, let's go across. So what's the it's pretty obvious.
This is a classic. You know, this had to be on the board. The Ox Plow.
Ox Plow.
The Ox plus Plow combo. So there's an Ox that's an 06 that crews with its toughness rather than its power, and then there's a Plow that is crew 6. And so the Ox is like plowing the field if you...
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Clearly designed to go together. One's a common, one's an uncommon.
It's so fun.
And I don't think either of them are particularly good without the other one. So
no,
it's kind of like a risky combo to shoot for.
Well, I've definitely lost just to the Ox sitting there, like 2 or 3 Ox just like chilling. And like you can't attack into it. And then they end up equipping it with something and you're like, what? How am I losing right now? But
that's where you needed the Finn.
I know, and then they just like die because it is death touch. Yeah, that's basically what I need. But Ox Plow combo definitely on the list. This next one, a little bit trickier. Okay, a little bit harder. But here we're going. So this one is you have to play Tybalt off of Tybalt's trickery.
Yeah, so it seems like you might not be able to do that, but actually, I believe you can, right?
Yes, you can.
So you can play Tybalt's trickery, counter your own spell, and then reveal. And if you hit a Valky, God of Lies, off the top, it says cast. And these cards are allowed to be cast for either side. So then you can choose to cast the other side, which is Tybalt.
Yes, and that just seems so perfect. Be like, oh, there's some Tybalt's trickery going on, and here's a Tybalt. What up?
Yeah. By the way, Tybalt's trickery is like everywhere right now.
It's huge. People are playing it.
Everybody's playing these stupid combo decks.
And I know that it definitely works because I played one best of one game just to see what standard it was again. and I got hit with this, and it was turn 2. They hit an Asika, god of the tree, off the top, and put it down as the prismatic bridge on turn 2. And so every turn they're just slamming new stuff down, and I was like, oh god, I gotta get out of here. It was rough.
Sounds like this Tybalt's Trickery card could be worth a slot. I don't know.
It might. It's definitely worth a slot, worth a try, because people are using it all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'll say this next one because I was the one that liked it and I threw it on there. But it's using Magda. That's the dwarf that when it taps, it makes treasures. And then if you sacrifice 5 treasures, you get a dragon or an artifact. So in combat, I want Magda and then some dwarves, and you attack. You make 5 treasures, sack the treasures, go get Ember Cleave, and immediately cleave them in combat. Seems pretty fun. I mean,
sounds great.
What's better than a combat trick in your hand? Having no cards in hand and then tutoring up your combat trick.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. And the upshot on this one is that both Magda and Embercleave are great cards. So.
Yeah, so there you go. You might even win. Because a lot of these,
exactly.
you probably won't be winning. Some of them are like, you have to win, like with poison. But the other ones are like, will you win? I mean, Jeff, this next one, you did it already. Did you win that game?
No, I didn't do this one.
Oh, you didn't do this one. You did the other one. Sorry.
Yeah. Although I did win the one you're talking about.
Okay.
No, the next one we just had to include. I mean, the World Tree's in this set. It has a ridiculous activated ability. Hey, pull that off. Activate the World Tree.
Activate the World Tree. And props.
It only costs like 2 of each color. So.
Yeah. I think props if you don't hit anything. Your deck doesn't have any gods.
You don't have any gods in it.
You just like make your opponent sweat. Just like activate it, and then that's it. You just pull out all the changelings in your deck. That's basically what you do.
You play that mask thing that gives all of your creatures changeling.
Yeah. See, there you go.
And then you get nothing out of your deck still.
You just choose not to.
Yeah. You leave your opponent very confused.
That would be pretty sweet. This next one, I've been actually having quite a bit of fun with this type of deck. But it is to have a 10/4 Spirit of Aldergard. And that is the bear. It's 4 mana for a star 4. Or I guess it's an 0/4. And it gets +1/+0 for each snow permanent that you have. So you need to have 9 other snow permanents with this bear out.
And it fetches 1 for you.
It goes
to get
it fetches a snow land. So, yeah.
So you only need 8 other ones.
That's not too hard. Right?
Sounds easy.
Sounds pretty easy. I was thinking more with limited with this one because I've gotten up there. Yeah. I was like, there are 6s. I didn't get to 7, but I guess that's not that hard. But anyway, get a 10/4 Spirit of Aldergard. Aldergard?
I like it.
I don't know which one it is.
I think it's Spirit of the Elderguard, isn't it?
Ooh, it might be.
It sounds right to me.
Probably. But this next one, this one's fun.
So there's a card, Rise of the Draugr, and it lets you return a creature to your hand from the graveyard. But or the other option is you could return 2 creatures if those creatures share a creature type.
Ooh, what's the hardest creature type to have a lot of?
It's got to be God, right?
It's got to be God.
So the challenge here is return 2 gods from your graveyard to your hand with Rise of the Draugr.
Boom. And let's put a clause on here. They have to be actual gods, not just changelings.
Not changelings, yeah. And that should apply to like all of them when we're talking about
exactly. Yeah. Basically,
talking about creature types.
It should be the actual one because the changelings, you cheated a little bit,
Yeah. What's the fun in that?
What's the fun in that? So this next one, boy, Jeff, do you want to handle this one? Because this one's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's a little complicated though.
All right. So the next one is the Marite of the Frost plus Herald Unites the Elves combo. Or Herald, I guess we decided last week.
Yes, Herald.
Still not totally sure. But Marite is the changeling, the blue-green changeling that can copy any non-land permanent you control. And Herald Unites the Elves is the card that it's a saga that reanimates an elf from your graveyard. But Herald Unites the Elves basically what you do is you get 2 Marite of the Frost into your graveyard. You copy the Herald Unites the Elves with Marite. So Herald Unites the Elves comes down, mills 3 cards, reanimates the Marite, which then copies the Herald Unites the Elves. And with that second one, which is now legendary because Marite says the copy is legendary, you get a second Marite from your graveyard. Bring that into play, copy it again. And basically you'll have to choose one of them, so one will go to the graveyard, and now you have an infinite loop of these 2 Marites copying this enchantment, because Marite says it's legendary. So you mill your whole deck this way. Now, hopefully you found a way to win after doing that. Like, you know, the standard one is Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
but hey, we don't need that. If you just mill your entire library and lose the game, I'll still take it. You can
Just
mark
just
off
make
your
the combo
games.
happen, and then that's it. You don't have to capitalize on that combo.
Yeah, maybe you forgot to put a win con in your deck. That's okay.
Sounds like every deck I've ever made.
Yeah.
This next one is nice and flavorful. All we want you to do is take Arnie Brokenbrow and kill a troll with Arnie, either in combat or you get bonus points if you use the saga Arnie fights the troll. Is that what it's called? Slays. Yeah. Arnie slays
Arnie
a troll.
slays the troll.
So you get extra points for that, or even just any of the other fight cards. I mean, a fight card would feel pretty good. But if Arnie can kill a troll and survive, okay, that's what Arnie kill a troll and survive. There we go.
Right, and this is the one I was thinking of when you said it has to be a troll, not a changeling.
Yes, this has to be a troll.
So of course everyone listened last week and know that Arnie Brokenbrow, that's his story, is he headbutted a troll and won the fight. So now he's the king of the ruler of the Tuscari because he took on this troll one-on-one. So you're trying to reenact that in the game.
In the game. And hopefully your opponent will give you a nice.
Although if it was a changeling, that might explain how he actually won.
That does actually, yeah, okay. That does make a little bit more sense. However, we will not accept that. But of course, we're not really playing with you, so you can do whatever you want. This is just for fun.
Yeah. But you'll know deep down you didn't.
You cheated.
All right, what's up next?
It is. This is the with the Tyrite Sanctum. That's the colorless land. We want you to ascend to godhood with it. So we want you to take a legendary creature, turn it into a god, and then turn it indestructible.
Right. So a legendary creature that is not a god.
That is not already a god.
Use the Tyrite Sanctum to make it a god, and then use the Tyrite Sanctum again to make it indestructible.
There we go.
Should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, the card kind of tells you to do it, and we're just telling you you should do it.
I don't know who the best legendary creature to do it on would be, but
I would say any indestructible creature sounds pretty good. So
yeah.
I mean, maybe a god Vorinclex sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think we need more of the story, right? Like maybe at the end of the story, Herald becomes a god, like the Aenir kind of thing. Who knows?
Ooh, maybe. Yeah, we haven't gotten that far yet, so.
So speaking of Vorinclex,
yeah,
you just mentioned, that worked out. So again, this is another flavor one. So in the story, Kaya came to Kaldheim to hunt down Vorinclex. So this is a simple one. Exile Vorinclex with Kaya.
Hey, look at that.
I feel like this one's just gonna happen, throughout the course of play. The thing that makes it tricky is that I don't think you can, if they have a Vorinclex in play, I don't think you can just cast Kaya and exile it. Let me just check Kaya's loyalty. Yeah, you won't have enough loyalty because you'll only come in with 2.
Ooh, so you have to make sure Kaya's down
3. First.
Or
yeah, so Kaya has to be down first and didn't die to the hasty Vorinclex.
So this one's actually be
or
very
you
hard.
take like several turns here.
Yeah.
This one might actually be a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because if you tick up Kaya, you won't get any more counters because you only get 1. So you have to figure out a way to proliferate because you only get 1 that way.
Yeah,
this
might be a situation where you had 2 planeswalkers, and they needed to kill the other one. And then Kaya's still there to exile the Vorinclex.
Will she'll come in with two? She'll come in with two counters?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, but you still have to get the third on just to use her. This one's hard. Figure it out.
It's difficult, yeah.
All right.
I suppose if you had your own Vorinclex,
There you go. Okay.
then it would come down with a reasonable amount of counters.
Or-
the normal amount, I think.
The deck is Kaya is exiling Vorinclex. It's just your own Vorinclex. It's not somebody else's.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to
All right,
exile
that was
your
a little
opponents.
trickier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
gonna be.
Now that we're talking through it, because it was just for flavor, and the more we talk about it, the more it's like,
Yeah.
I guess it's actually pretty hard.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the one you actually did and won.
Yes,
So
I've
far.
already accomplished this one.
All right, but I'm going to
So
make
this
sure you have
one
to do it
is-
again.
Okay. This is activate Path to the World Tree in Limited. So Path to the World Tree is that enchantment that's like 1 in a green. It goes to get you a basic land out of your deck, puts it into your hand. But then it has an activated ability for 2 Wooburg. So white, blue, red, black, green. And it does a whole bunch of stuff. It draws you cards, deals 2 damage to something, your opponent loses life, you get a 2/2, and all that. So it's a powerful ability, but it's pretty hard to pull off in Limited because you need 1 of each color of mana. It's a 7-cost activation that costs 1 of each color.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, we discussed this one, and then later that evening, I did it. So, I don't know, I think.
So
Maybe it's not as hard as we thought.
it is doable, and that's just a limited thing that would be. It's just like, oh, did you do that? Because I feel like I've heard maybe some other people do it too. So, so yeah, it might not be the hardest, but it's definitely one of those things that you want to be like, oh, I remember Kaldheim Limited. I got to do this that many times.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Seems cool.
then, of course, it's not a bingo board without a free space, right, Jeff?
Right.
So
Yeah, we've got right to the middle here. So.
yeah, we're right in the middle. And our free space is not completely free. However, you do have to lose to an opponent that top decks a win. So
Yeah.
should happen in the next game that you have.
It's basically free. I mean,
It's basically free. So
who
you're
hasn't this happened?
you're
to?
at that board stall state, and your opponent just top decks and then slams it, and they immediately win. You're like, oh, all right, good game.
Yeah. The old I'm at 3, they draw lightning bolts
What are you gonna do?
kind of thing.
Moving on, we have so this next one is we want you to get the max levels on Ascendant Spirit. Now that's the 1-drop blue 1/1 Spirit that has all the snow activations. So 2 snow activations, it becomes a Spirit Warrior. That's a 2/3, and then with 3 snow, it's a 4/4 Spirit Warrior Angel. With flying, and then with 4 snow counters, then it's if it's an angel, then it gets 2 more +1/+1 counters, and whenever it deals damage, you draw a card. That thing. So we want it to go from a spirit all the way to a 6/6 angel.
Yeah, just hit the max level.
Hit the
on
max
this. Now, it's
level.
not really max level because you can use that last ability as many times as you want to keep putting 2 counters on it, which is interesting. But yeah, just once you get into the 6/6 flying that draws a card whenever it hits the opponent and has all the creature types, you've accomplished this one.
You have maxed it out. And you know,
And probably won that game.
yeah. And what's a really great way to max it out with that I forgot to talk about in our Worth a Slot episode is Jorn. Jorn's a really great way to go really fast. You're like, I'm going to
Stupid Jordan.
put I'm going to, turn it into a warrior, and then Jorn attacks, you untap your lands, then you do it again in combat. It's great.
Yeah.
That is how I'm going to get that.
That sounds fun for everyone.
Sounds good. I don't know. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
That's great. But with that, Jeff, I think it's time for a beer break. I'm empty.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable place to take a quick
Take a
break
quick,
here.
quick break here.
Just a quick break.
Alrighty, I got this hazy Mariner ready
Yeah.
to try
Some sort of
all
passionate sour.
beer. Yeah, passionate sour. Tell me how that. I mean, I guess you're gonna tell me later how that is.
Yeah, I can't spoil it.
Yeah, right.
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. As we're pouring our beer, let's get back into our bingo board.
I do have to object that where it's supposed to have the style of the beer, it says beer with natural flavor.
Yes.
That worries me.
It also worried me. But yeah, you'll taste it. It's fine. But
So
yeah,
if it doesn't say that on one of their other beers, then the flavor is wildly unnatural.
Anyway, Jeff, do you want to jump us back into this bingo board
Yes.
with the next one?
Next one I'm very excited about
This is
because
a
I
good
was
one.
just thinking there's a card in the new set called Dream Devourer. And among other things, what it lets you do is foretell anything. So you can, any spell in your hand, you can foretell it, and then its foretell cost is 2 less than its than its mana cost. So I was just thinking, what would be the funniest or best thing to foretell? And so I'm just thinking, what are the cards we play at Standard and stuff like that? And then I came across, of course, Doom Foretold.
It's so good.
Yeah. So this one's simple. You got to foretell Doom Foretold. The only way to do that is with Dream Devourer.
Oh, it's so good because it's even like the right color and everything. It's so great.
Yeah.
Um,
Foretelling Doom.
that's
Foretold.
probably that's like one of my favorites. I think
Yeah.
that's so good. Oh man.
Like, I want to do that anyways, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's what all of this is, right? It's just stuff we want to do, but we're, I guess are we betting on this? Like we kind of talked about, we bet a lot on this show.
Yeah, we could. I don't know.
Do we need another bet? I feel like we have a lot right now. We got,
We have a lot of bets going, you know? We
Yeah.
need to be able to track them.
because I can't even remember all the ones we did for New Year's.
We could keep this one for funsies.
Yeah, maybe this is just for fun. Maybe we'll just like see who can get there fastest. But like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
my goal, so I'll probably get there first. But actually, no. Knowing me, I'll say it's my goal, and then I'm not even going to try at all. So
Yeah. Hey, you succeeded in your last goal.
I did, yes. But see, the goal was to not do anything, and
You're right.
maybe that's
You
what
nailed
more
it.
of my goal should be. Just don't do anything. Awesome. So this next one, all Value Town. Sorry, no, all Flavor Town is what I meant to say.
I mean, it's also kind of Value Town.
It is Value Town. But take the Sword of the Realms and then equip it to Valky. Because, well, that's what's happening in the story. Valky, a.k.a. Tybalt, has the Sword of the Realms. Boom.
Yeah.
Why not?
There you go.
There you go.
We got to make things canon, you know? All games of Magic must be canon, so...
Yeah, we really want to stay in the storylines. Also, it's kind of like a prophecy. They tell you what's going to happen or what is happening, and you might as well just make it happen. It's kind of nice that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to try to pull this off. Some sort of Mardu deck.
Oh, for sure. I thought it'd be good. Oh, okay. This one's fun. Actually, this card, I already have a playset of this card. Actually, not on purpose.
Which
one? The Asika's Chariot.
Okay, yeah.
This next
You mean,
one,
Cat Car.
Cat Car. Although I've heard I've heard Cat Car, I've heard Cat Cart, but my favorite one that I heard recently is Cadillac.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the winner for sure. It's obviously the Cadillac.
The Cadillac. So we're talking about Asika's Chariot, which is the green vehicle that has the cats in the little cart thing with the wheels.
Buggy, kind of.
The buggy thing, yeah. But Cadillac, I think, is a fantastic name for it. But basically, when Asika's Chariot attacks, you get to make a token copy of another token that you have. So, what's the best token you could probably make with this? Well, it was probably
Gotta be a dragon, right?
it'd be an angel, it'd be a dragon. Yeah, those are the things that we have. But what would be more fun is to use the land Litjara Mirror Lake to make a token of another great card that you have that isn't easy to get, and then make a token with the chariot. So that is what we're trying to do. You have to first
I love it.
make a token with Litjara Mirror Lake, and then copy that token with the Cadillac.
Yeah. When you first told me this, I was like, wait a minute. Can I use the Mirror Lake to make a token copy of the Cadillac and then just keep copying Cadillacs and have them grow exponentially so long as I can crew them? The answer is no, because the Cadillac is a legendary permanent. And
Yes.
I kind of wonder if this is why. Because they had a few ways to copy creatures and make them tokens. And so they were like, you know what? That it happened one time in playtesting before they were like, fuck it, make that thing legendary.
They're like, nope, let's not do that. All,
Maro's opponent really went to town on him with the Cadillacs, so he just he just
He's like,
scribbled legendary on the card.
there.
Right
It's now it's the Cadillac. Before it was just the cat cart, but the Cadillac.
Yeah.
There you go. But what you could do if you wanted to try to do that, I'm sure you could just use Helm of the Host. Would be expensive.
I'm talking about limited, man.
Oh, for
Limited.
sure. Yeah. Well, yes, definitely limited. But if you want to try to do something crazy like that, you could use Helm of the Host to make a copy.
Is this like a historic deck?
The Cadillac historic deck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Am I allowed to use Orvar the All Form instead of Lajara Mirror?
I will allow it. That is a mythic, so I thought it'd be harder to get that card in limited just to do it.
Yeah.
Because then you're asking for a rare and a mythic, which is fairly difficult to get both.
Yeah. So the point is to copy a token that's not usually a token.
Yes, one that wouldn't
It's like a
come in the set. Like you can't get a token card in a pack of,
Right.
of paper magic. Sorry, we do not talk about paper magic.
yeah. I don't even know what that is.
What are you talking about? No, like
What are you
a
talking about?
yeah, a
Tokens
token.
don't come in packs, man. That would be a waste.
No, they come up from cards that you play and you get tokens.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, moving on from that one, we talked about this a little bit before, but I still want to do it, and it's still worth a bingo slot, I think.
Okay, worth a bingo slot. Sure. I want to clarify here.
Not worth a regular slot in
Not
the
worth
deck.
a real slot.
This is Mystic Reflection, and we are just asking to hit 2 different creatures or planeswalkers off of the Mystic Reflection. So take, you basically have to play this in response to 2 creatures coming to play at the same time, which is cards like Genesis Ultimatum or Collected Company, and then pulling the rug out from under them.
Yeah, you only get a couple of 1/1.
Get some human tokens. Take that.
Got him.
Got him. It just seems fun. I don't know. I just want to do it.
Yeah. I feel like if there's a good way to use this card, it's the opposite to like, some sort of tokens deck, and you get a Craterhoof Behemoth, and then you make 4 more Craterhoof Behemoths.
Yeah, that sounds. Because
But I think once you get Craterhoof Behemoth in a tokens deck, you've already won. So.
yeah, you probably shouldn't just be sitting with that card on the. You play it.
Yeah, hold on, I'm not gonna kill you yet.
I'm not gonna-
watch next turn.
Yeah, this is. That's exactly what my kitchen table magic used to be. As I'm gonna slam this sweet thing. Not gonna attack yet though, because it's gonna be much cooler later. And then, somebody kills
Then
it.
they
or-
kill it.
Yeah.
Up next, we got a fun one. So there's a card in this set called Replicating Ring, and it's basically like a snow manalith, a 3-mana rock, but it's a snow permanent. But it has this extra line of text that basically every turn you put a counter on it, and then once you get into 8, this ring splits, and you get 8 copies of it. So now, if you get all the way there, now you have 8 tokens of this ring, and so we were thinking, well, what could you cast with just these rings? Anything that costs 8.
What
pretty
costs
good.
8? That's really good. Maybe Ugin the Spirit Dragon?
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Ugin. So this tile, you have to mark it off your bingo board. You have to cast Ugin using only mana that comes from replicating rings.
Only replicating rings. It's delightful. That's probably one of my favorite. I really like that one.
I love how the ring has to split pretty much to pull this off, because you can only have 4 in your deck.
Exactly.
Unless you all right, does Kinnan count? No, it only doubles creatures, right?
No, Kinnan would do it. Yeah.
So if I had 4 replicating rings and a Kinnan, does that count?
Yeah, it's non-land permanents. I think that Kinnan doubles. So
Or would that count as me casting Ugin off replicating rings only, or am I kind of using
you're kind of scooting it, but I'll allow it. It's not as
Okay.
fun because the point is that
I mean, it's still pretty ridiculous.
It's very ridiculous. But because the point is you want to, replicate the rings.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just love that one.
But I have to wait like 8 turns for that. I'll accelerate it with Vorinclex. I'll just sit there with Vorinclex, not attack, get 2 counters on my ring every turn.
Play Ugin, wipe the board, including my Vorinclex.
Yeah. For some reason, I go X equals 6, even though I didn't have to. I don't even ultimate Ugin, which I can do.
Yeah, you don't ult Ugin.
I actually get rid of my own Vorinclex.
But not your rings because they're colorless. So there you go. You can play another Ugin the next turn.
That's the genius of this combo.
Yeah, this combo.
Yeah,
definitely. This next one is for sure a combo. It's you need.
I think a combo requires multiple cards.
I think a combo requires 2 things to happen. All right. So this one is you need to turn Skull Raid into Divination.
Aha.
So Skull
Raid is the card that's like a mind rot, but you draw a card for each card that they can't discard. Right? So if they only have 1 card, then they discard it and you draw. But if they have no cards in hand, you draw 2 cards.
Boom. I guess technically it's Divination, but it costs 4.
I feel like I'm just going to do this at some point without even trying to cross this off my...
Exactly. That's part of why I like it, but it also requires your opponent to not just hold lands in their hand. Mm-hmm. You have to have an opponent that...
Or you need 2 Skull Raids.
That's true. Okay, you could use 2 Skull Raids, yeah. But yeah, it seems fairly, simple, but I definitely want to do it because that's what the card wants you to do.
Yeah. I actually played Skull Raid with a Tergrid out earlier this week, and they literally had a 5/5 and a 6/6 as their last 2 cards. I made them discard it, and then because I had Tergrid, they both came onto my side of the battlefield, and my opponent insta-scooped.
That's so... Well, that would be the worst. Not only are you discarding the best cards you've been saving your hand, but your opponent gets them just because.
Yeah.
And
my opponent wasn't like... They were clearly, oh, okay, shit, they discarded them, and then the Tergrid triggers go on the stack. They clearly read the Tergrid trigger and then just conceded because they didn't let them resolve. They just paused for a couple seconds and then conceded.
We will also accept that. So if you have Tergrid and you get 2, if you get 11 power worth of creatures off of a Skull Raid.
Felt like this making it a divination would be easier.
It definitely will. That's why I said we should do this one instead of what you did, which would be much, much harder because that won't happen again.
Okay, so we're just all the cards we kind of talked about in the Worthless slot. Next up is Pyre of Heroes.
Yeah.
So Pyre of Heroes is a card that lets you kind of chain creatures together. You sacrifice a creature and you go get one that's converted mana cost 1 more from your deck. So the challenge here is to get a chain of length 4. So chain of length 4. So chain 4 creatures together. Mm-hmm. So play a 2-drop, activate Pyre to turn it into a 3-drop. Next turn, activate Pyre to turn it into a 4-drop. Next turn, activate Pyre to turn it into a 5-drop. So go 2, 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever.
But
so you're activating Pyre 3 times basically.
That's
4 creatures.
Yeah,
and it's important. I can't play a 2-drop, Pyre it into a 3-drop, and then Pyre a different 3-drop. It has to be. I want a chain. I want the same one.
So not only do you have to protect that creature so no one kills it.
Yeah. Right.
Or you have to Pyre a 2-drop again and get that creature again out of your deck.
Yeah. Well, you're starting a new chain at that point. So
okay, gotcha. All right. Yeah. Well, that one seems like it could be much harder if it's like...
Bonus points if you combine this one with the Marite of the Frost plus Herald Unites the Elves combo deck and make a Pyre of Heroes that chains you up to Marite of the Frost, which then copies your Herald Unites the Elves.
Oh my god. That would be crazy.
That's got to be pretty close to bingo, right?
Pretty close.
And then you lose actually because your opponent top decks the right card.
And then you get a free space.
Yeah.
We only have a few more left, but this next one is fairly straightforward. But using the saga Battle for Bredegard, create 7 tokens with that one card. With that one card and other tokens, obviously. So what happens is it comes down on the battlefield. It makes a token. a human, and then it makes an elf the next turn, and then after that, it makes a token for each other named token that you have. You get to make another one. So that means you have to have at least 3 other tokens that are not the ones that you've made from that saga on the battlefield by the 3rd chapter to get 7 altogether. Basically,
you need two other ones. No, you're right. Yeah, to get 7 from this saga.
yes, 7 from this saga.
Yeah.
You'll need 3 other tokens on the battlefield because it'll make copies of the ones it made itself. But
so you're trying to get 5 tokens off of chapter 3.
5 tokens off of chapter 3, but you're getting 2 earlier, so might as well just add up 7 altogether, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, and bonus points if the tokens that you're using are the same thing with the cat cart or the Cadillac.
Yeah. So someone's just gonna go crazy with Battle for Bredegard and I actually the first deck I drafted had the Cadillac and Battle for Bredegard in it.
I
didn't accomplish either of these things.
Yeah.
But I did get 7 wins with that because those cards are good.
Cadillac, it's good.
All right, why don't you take the next one too, since this one was your idea?
Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah.
It seems like at first I was like, oh, this would be pretty easy, and then I was like, actually, this is gonna be really hard
impossible.
and like not
It's
great.
impossible.
Not very good. But it is to take runed crown and then attach all 5 runes to the crown. So basically, the crown is the artifact equipment that when it comes into play, it tutors a crown or a rune from your deck or your hand or your graveyard, and it attaches to the crown. But then after that, you have to go figure out either flicker the crown a bunch of times to go tutor all the other ones, or
Then you'll lose the aura.
oh, you will. Never mind. You can't even do that. You just have to find them and put them on. You have to use all the other tutor effects or anything you can do. It's a crown that gives +3,
Right.
+2, lifelink, flying, death touch, haste, trample, and then I think that's it. Does the crown give anything? I forget. No.
No, just the crown is the +1/+1 baseline.
Yes, that's it. Okay. Yeah. It's just a crazy equipment that doesn't pump up the creature very tall. It just has a lot of abilities. But
It's just like so mediocre too.
it's really not good. Because it doesn't even get first strike and death touch.
But I just love the idea of the crown that has all the runes on it.
Exactly. It's like the
that
Infinity.
picture, that mental image.
It's the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever. It's the Avengers thing. Yeah.
But it's just not that powerful.
It's
even
not
to
at all.
complete it.
They're just like, oh, do you need that? And like, it's not hard to find. They just scribble some stuff on the crown. There you go. Oh, you want lifelink? Okay, I'll just write this little thing with my magic pen or whatever.
I'm imagining trying to have like 4 crowns in my deck and then ways to bounce the runes off of the different crowns to put them onto the same crown.
Yeah, I guess. Or I guess you can use. Can you use Halvar to do any of this, or is it just onto a creature? Nope. Yeah, so you because you can move auras and equipment around from creature to creature, but not from permanent to permanent. So that doesn't work. Oh boy.
But there is Runeforged Champion, which when it enters the battlefield, you search your library or graveyard for a rune and put it into your hand. And runes only cost 1 when he's out.
And that's just a one colorless or any color.
So he's going to be a
generic.
big part of it, yeah.
Yeah, so you have 4 of
just
those.
one generic.
You play that, and you can like bounce, flicker him. You also have to make sure you have a crown on the battlefield.
Right.
Also, the Boros land, it goes and gets an equipment and or an aura.
There we go. Now we're cooking here.
So you can get the crown and one of the auras or the runes, and then when you play the crown, you get a different one. So it's possible. You can do it.
It's gonna be easy.
Yeah. Kudos if it's all like off color, like you're really only playing Boros, and then like you don't even have ways of playing the other colors. You have to tutor them straight to the battlefield.
And use
Runeforged Champion. I mean that's like, getting really cheeky, but we're all about being cheeky here, so try it out.
All right, the next one's a card that I was really interested in. This is Haunting Voyage. So this is what I liked about this is the foretell cost is more expensive than the casting cost. And so that doesn't make a lot of sense, but there's got to be something coming. So this card is the thing that reanimates 2 creatures, or that have the same creature type, or it reanimates all creatures of the chosen creature type if you foretell it. So, our task for you, your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to reanimate 5 creatures with Haunting Voyage. So this is kind of like a huge full graveyard comeback. You know, maybe elves or whatever, something that is black and has cheap creatures that you can bring them all back.
Yeah, or gods.
Yeah, I mean that's the tough way to do it. But
Oh man. Or you know what? You could do shapeshifter, not changelings, but they're all changelings.
right.
So
Yeah, again, no changelings. Yeah.
Unless you specifically pick shapeshifter as your creature type, which is their like regular one.
I guess changelings is fine here, right? Because we're just asking that you reanimate 5 creatures.
Yeah, but it's still not as fun. You can, I guess.
It's better if it's like all honest elves or
Yeah.
real, you know,
Like no imposters.
angels.
I guess you could do it. You know what? I don't care. You do it. You do you, right? As long as you're having a
just
good
get
time.
5.
Just as long as you think that you're accomplishing something, that's good enough. We will still have an asterisk and say that wasn't really a bingo, but whatever.
If that's how you want to win.
Yeah, if that's if you want to win that way, okay, whatever. Sweet. We have one more. We say you need to control 3 permanents owned by your opponent.
Yeah.
So there are a few different ways to steal permanents from your opponent permanently. The easiest one is the Trickster Gods heist, which is the Dimir saga, the uncommon one, where you're just exchanging things. So you are giving your stuff to your opponent as well, but you are taking their things. So that's acceptable.
Yep. As long as you control stuff that you don't own.
Yeah. You can use Terror Grid to, if they have to sacrifice things or discard things, you get their stuff. That works.
Yeah.
You can use the Necromancer or the Draugr. What's that card called? Yeah, something like that.
I think it's called Draugr.
Draugr or Necromancer. Dang, it's so close. Sometimes you just switch the words.
The Necromancer, the one that's a Draugr.
Yeah.
What's his name?
What's it? Draugr Necromancer. That's it. That one will work as well because when the non-token creatures your opponents control die, they get exiled and you can play them. Yeah, you can also just if you can play Shackles of Treachery 3 times in your turn, I guess that's fine. You have them for one turn. But
you're missing the biggest one, the mythic rare.
Oh, of course.
Face of the set. Tybalt can do it because he exiles your opponent's cards from your opponent's library or their creatures, and then you can cast them. And I think there was another blue-black saga that would do it. King Narfi's Betrayal lets you exile a creature, planeswalker, from your opponent's graveyard and then cast it.
That's true. Okay. I guess there are more than I remembered.
And there's probably more, too. So there's one reasonable one in uncommon. There's the red ones, the standard threaten effects and common, and then a bunch of rares and even a mythic that'll help you do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're counting. I guess Valky doesn't count. If you played Valky and then copied the creature you stole, you still own that permanent.
Yeah, it just turned into it, right? So it's not the same thing.
Yeah. But basically, we just noticed that there's actually a surprising number of ways to control permanents that you don't own in this set. So.
Yeah, I guess you can, which is great. But that's the bingo card. That's it. We got through it.
Yeah. There you go.
As if we weren't going to get through it. But I think we're pretty close on time. I think we did good job.
Hey,
look at this. But because we've been drinking because I drink a 4.3% beer and this one's 5 point something and I can't talk. What is going on? I just have residual
Classic
drunkenness. Sad. Yeah. It's just it's because I'm an actor and I have sense memory. So when the beer touches my lips, I remember being drunk from whatever. I'm just going to make up
I don't know what you're talking about.
bullshit excuse.
I think we all have sense memory when it comes to beer.
I mean, everyone has sense memory, but it's an actor's whatever. I'm not going to pretend like I actually am a shitty person like that. Do whatever the hell you want.
Hey man, I was talking about jazz music earlier. So
That's true. I
we,
mean,
we can just turn this into like a pretentious podcast about music and acting. If you
yeah,
want.
music and
About
acting
the arts, I guess, is
and
what it's
and
more
tier
traditionally
lists.
referred to.
Yeah, we are going to make a tier list of all the best arts.
Yeah.
This art is just objectively better than this, because that's how
Yeah.
art works. um, but anyway, before we go into our last call, because I'm not really ready for another beer yet. What are your like first impressions of the set so far? How are you feeling? You've played quite a bit of it?
Yeah, I've been drafting a lot. I haven't played a single game of Constructed, I don't think, because I'm still trying to collect, build up my collection. And there are a lot of kind of high-profile mythic rares actually in this set that you're going to want, which isn't always the case. You know, sometimes the mythic rares are duds, and it's the rares that you mostly want. But in this set, like you want the Goldspan Dragons, you probably want Vorinclex, you probably want Valky and / Tybalt, etc. So yeah, just been collecting. But the draft format so far is pretty fun. I have noticed that some cards are just like nearly unbeatable. The Asika's, the Chariot, the Cadillac. I've played both with and against that card, and I think whoever has that card has won every game that I've
Really? I feel like I've had that card multiple times, and I just always feel like I'm up against a 5/5, and I'm like, if I attack right now and make more stuff, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna lose this in my Cadillac, and then I'm blocking, and the Cadillac isn't great for blocking, so I was like, I get in a weird situation. I'm like, what did I do? How did this happen? I have noticed. I had a sealed pool that had the Immerstrom Predator, that Rakdos Dragon, the vampire dragon, that you can, whenever it becomes tapped, you can exile a card from a graveyard. It gets +1/+1 counter, and then you can sacrifice a creature to give it indestructible. And man, are there a lot of exile effects or like prison effects or pacifism?
Yeah.
I was like, man. Every time I slam
they
this
just
down,
hit it with Feed the Serpent.
yeah, every time they do that, or they do the Raven. What's the blue one? The Exiles. Raven form. I'm like, damn it! And there's like a lot of common removal that just gets rid of things that have indestructible. I'm like, oh, okay, damn. All right, never mind then.
See, I had Coma in one draft, but I just always made sure to play it when they were tapped out. So even if they exiled it, I got a 3/3 out of the deal. So I'm still up a whole 3/3, which usually, is enough to win because they take their whole turn to exile your thing and you made an extra creature.
Yeah.
And then if they don't have any exile effect, they just lose to Coma.
Yeah.
Like, there's no beating it.
I mean, that sounds pretty fun. Ooh, I feel like I haven't had so many bombs. I've played against a few. But yeah, I mean, people are saying that it's pretty bomby. Like, like you were saying, there are some cards that just like are unbeatable. But I also I guess the way I play maybe isn't the best, but I always feel like there's just some card that they play and I'm like, I can't beat a 3/3 flyer. I'm gonna lose. It's like,
man, that's a big Raven. Holy
it's
shit.
a big Raven, man.
They cast that for 2 mana? This is bullshit.
Yeah, the amount of times that I get pushed into Boros and I can't beat a 3/3, I'm like, this deck's terrible.
I did try Boros a couple of times. I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
There's so many incidental ways to pick off artifacts and enchantments too.
There are a lot.
Like just the 1/3 that comes down and exiles your
that green one,
like,
yeah. And also it's a 1/3 and like all the a lot of the aggressive good like ground creatures all have one toughness.
Cannot attack through it. Yeah.
It's like, oh great. That's awesome. So
It's like you just killed my only way to fight through big blockers, and while playing a big blocker and something else because that thing only costs you 2 mana.
Yeah.
Why did I pick Boros?
Yeah, crap. Yeah, so that's happened. It's just there's so like 1-drops always entice me because like, but it's only one, Yeah. And there's so many white 1-drops. There's a lot. So.
Yeah, they've done a better job in recent years, but in this set in particular, of making 1-drops relevant in limited. Because it used to be that they were just almost never worth it. Because, they're like 1/1 flyer for 1. You're like, well, this is okay on turn 1, but any other point in the game it sucks.
Yeah.
So it needs to be in your opening hand. These ones are like still pretty bad if they're not in your opening hand, but at least kind of not embarrassing.
Yeah. It would be, I mean, I do like the play pattern if you have the one that you like, or you have the raptor or something, the battlefield raptor, and that gets killed with something, or the raven kills it or whatever. But then they also have that cool Valkyrie, the uncommon.
Yeah.
Is it a common? It might be a common.
It's a common.
You can just like exile a card from a graveyard and it costs 2. It's a 3/2 flyer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that feels pretty good. Like,
It's pretty strong common.
especially because in that deck
found.
you don't need there's one way to do stuff with creature cards in your graveyard. So, yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, sorry, that deck isn't very fun. I've been playing it a lot and it's bad.
But the main thing that I've found is that nobody seems to take Binding the Old Gods. They just pass it. So I get like 3 or 4 of them every draft, and then I can just deal with whatever my opponent plays because it just destroys any non-land permanent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's also super easy to splash in this because there's so many. All the duels are common. So
Yeah, I played a deck that was blue-green. This is the deck I sent you that went 7-0 and it had Coma in it. It was blue-green. I splashed black for 3 copies of Binding the Old Gods, and I splashed white for Nico.
and you're like,
And I also had Tyvar just as one of my green cards. I'm not even sure he was that good because I didn't have that many elves, but I was like, I gotta play this.
hey, might
It
as well.
helps ramp me into my Coma. So
There you go. Yeah, it also helps you play your Bind the Old Gods, or sorry, Bind the Old Gods.
yes, that was the other thing. Is it like actually was weirdly fixing for my black? So,
There you go.
that never came up, but that would have been funny.
Yeah. So
I did
good.
play against somebody where they killed my Tyvar, and then they exiled my Nico, and then they played a bunch of stuff on their turn, and I was just waiting for black, and eventually I hit my black, and I triple bindinged them to get rid of all their stuff, and then I just, the next turn I top decked Coma, and I just slammed it, and they just rage conceded. It was like, what the hell was that?
That would be so
I just had to
awful.
beat like 2 mythic rares and then 3 of the best uncommons in the set, and I'm still in the game, and then they played another mythic rare.
And you're like, this is not fun anymore.
Yeah. Well, I guess I lose to the fucking snake.
Yeah.
But it was funny because the way they killed my first 2 planeswalkers was with Feed the Snake. I was like, you were just feeding my snake the whole time. What did you expect?
Oh, that's perfect.
Or Feed the Serpent, I think, is what
Yeah.
it's
Well, whatever. We know what they're actually talking about. Yeah, but Jeff, with that, I think it might be ready for last call. I think it's time.
Last call.
All right. Ding-a-ling, last call. Whatever they do at bars. I don't remember. It's been so
Don't
long.
have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Well, it's not closing time quite yet, but it's almost closing time. So
Yeah. Right. That's closing time.
Yeah.
Last call comes before that.
I just haven't been to a bar in so long that I can't remember.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey.
Hey.
All right, sounds about right. We picked our own.
Yeah.
Normal.
We both picked Zach's, but we did not pick the same beer.
Yes, yeah. So I got the passionate sour, and Jeff grabbed.
I actually thought both were really, really poor choices. So
Yeah,
it's hard to
they
choose,
weren't my
but
favorite.
I was just making a joke because you picked both, but
Yeah, but they also were not the greatest choices. So I was just
yeah.
expecting
But
to.
if I chirp you and then you like go along with it, it makes me look like a douche. You know?
I know that's why I'm doing that, so that I always come out on top.
I see.
So that you are the douche and I look good. Although now me explaining it makes me look like a douche. So what are you gonna do?
we got there.
We got there. Yeah, as far as the beers go, sorry about that, bud.
I wouldn't say they were bad or anything.
No.
You know? It's just, we've come to expect a certain standard on this show.
Have we? I expect to bring whatever I find that looks different and see what happens. But yeah, anyway, so this passionate sour, beer with natural flavor.
Beer with natural flavor.
It was naturally flavored, I guess.
Yeah.
I just preferred it over the 2. I'd rather drink another one of these, so that's why I went with it. it has like toasted coconut in it and some passion fruit and stuff. It's it's just like, was it refreshingly tart? Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I don't think either beer was bad, but like you said, sort of neither really spoke to me, I suppose.
Yeah. No, they spoke to me.
Right?
They told me, "Put me in gold. I'm a gold beer." That's what this one. Actually, that's what they both
Definitely.
said. I'm just gonna say that. That's how I feel about.
They're definitely both gold.
They're both gold.
The passion sour for me, I don't like when a sour beer tastes more like juice than it does like a beer.
Yes.
Like I like a beer with a sour hint to it. And to me, this is one of those examples that's a little closer to juice.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a slightly carbonated, like closer almost to a cooler or a mixed drink to me, because it's almost like alcoholic flavored sour passion fruit juice.
And see, that's why.
Rather than clearly a beer with a little kick.
Yeah. I like sours just no matter what. They can taste like similar to beer. They can taste nothing like beer, but it looks like beer in your glass, so no one can say anything, and it's delicious.
I see. Yeah. So, anyways, it's just like some breweries do sours one way and some do the other way, and I prefer the other way.
Yeah, I totally get that.
And then this is just that's what I have to say about that. I didn't really get the coconut either. I mostly just get passion fruit.
I got the coconut like immediately. I could smell it, but I can't taste it.
Yeah, I can smell it, but when I can't taste the coconut.
Anyway, gold. It's got an interesting aftertaste too. That's like, okay. Hazy Marner. Mariner. Marner. It's like Mitch Marner.
There's no I in Mitch Marner's name though.
Of course, yes, I would know that.
Being a diehard Leafs fan.
Yeah, Mitch Mariner. That's a baseball team. Anyway.
Austin Matthews.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is a hazy IPA as promised, which is why I went with this one, because it more closely matched what I'm looking for in the style than the other one. But I don't think it's the best example of this style.
No.
I think it's fine.
As far as like, it's fine. It has a definitely cooler logo. I like that, but besides that, yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's well made, but
to be fair,
I find it a bit
when I was
bland.
picking these up, I wasn't thinking either of them was going to be awesome. I was just like, I've never seen these before, and so I picked them up. And you so happen to also find them easily and pick them up.
Right.
So that's just how that works out sometimes.
Well, I'd never seen them before, so I was like, I don't think my local liquor store carries those.
And it has both.
I've never seen them. And then I went, I guess they're just unassuming enough that I never
glaze over
noticed
them. I also never noticed them, so maybe it was like a new shipment and everyone's like, oh, this is a new thing, let's have it. It could be a thing. Who knows? But yeah, those are the beers for this week. So I think let's wrap this puppy up, don't you think?
Yeah.
Let's go. So please, if you'd like to reach out, talk to us about our bingo board or any beers that we should bring that are better than these ones. You can reach us on Twitter and Instagram at Arena Regulars.
Yeah, and we'd like to see screenshots of you accomplishing these.
We forgot to say that, yes.
Bingo achievements.
Send us screenshots of you accomplishing the bingo things.
Mm-hmm. We'd love to see them.
Yeah.
You can also find us on MTG Arena itself under the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
Yes.
Please try to pull off these bingo adventures against us. That'd be even better.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to screenshot it if I'm on that account and somebody does it to me.
Yeah. We should just screenshot if anyone bingos without them even knowing. I guess it's not a bingo. It's just getting a square. Because you can't get a bingo in one game. Well, maybe you could. That would be.
One match? If somebody bingos you in a match, that's...
That's crazy. If you want to talk to us personally, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zulberg, Zeulberg. But Jeff, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at BluesBrewsMTG. And on Twitch, I'll be streaming Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday nights, and then maybe other streams thrown in, but that's kind of the schedule, at twitch.tv/bluesbrews.
Yeah. come hang out, drink with Jeff, and sometimes I'm on there as well,
Yeah.
so we'll talk. But we'd also love, could you please give us a review on iTunes and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and any of your podcast streaming services that you like, whatever you're listening to on right now. You're probably already following, but if you're not, please do like us, subscribe, any of the things that it says. Just do those things. It helps us out.
Yeah, it would really help us out.
Yeah.
So.
We'd really, really love that. But with that, I think it's closing time. I
Now
guess
it's closing time.
It is closing time now.
Now I can sing this song.
Closing time. One last call. Oh, wait,
One
it is
last call for alcohol.
Yeah, it is last call. You're right. Okay.
That's what made me think of it.
All right. Well, I guess it's last call and closing time. Good night, everyone. All right. That's fine.